If you're here, it's likely because you are burned out, burned up, fed up, and you're still showing up. If that's you, I can empathize. I have been there. I may not necessarily be able to put myself in your shoes, but I've had those moments where I woke up in the morning or I was sitting in the car before walking through the door into the office and thinking to myself, why am I still doing this? Why am I still here? And this is not because we're lazy or ungrateful. It's because we are carrying too much. We're giving too much and we're getting too little back. And maybe you can't quit yet. Financially, logistically, spiritually, whatever the reason is, you cannot leave just yet. It is hard out here in these streets to find a job. So today, if we still have to navigate this space, I want to give you something that you can do this week to reclaim your energy, your power, and your sanity without blowing up your life, your paycheck, or your reputation. I'm Dr. Blair Tinker. I'm a leader in the space of intercultural competency, skill development, leadership development, belonging, and organizational change. I'm also a mom, a wife, and a boss. I created the Tinker Method because I want to help people level up and lead up. I want to give strategies that actually work and that don't require you to become a doormat or a dragon. I received so much advice throughout my time working as a professional. Read this book, do this, and I was never given tangible things that I can do in real time. I want to give that to you. If you want the exact scripts that I use to protect my peace in toxic workplaces, grab my Respect Reset Toolkit. It's free, it's simple, it works. So, as we get into this work, we have to start off by naming what is draining us. There are certain triggers when it comes to burnout. Most burnout isn't caused by the workload, it's caused by the conditions around the workload. People aren't quitting jobs, they quit pressure, invisibility, inconsistency, they quit disrespect. Let's highlight some truths here. First burnout trigger: invisible labor. You're doing the job nobody notices until you stop doing it. That creates resentment, exhaustion, and this sense that you're being used and abused. Another trigger is emotional labor. You're managing everyone's mood and smoothing conflicts and keeping the peace, and nobody is keeping the peace for you. This last trigger may hit home for some of you. It's misalignment. You're good at the job, but the job is not good for you anymore. So, this first step is naming what's draining you. Not vaguely, but be specific, narrow in, get up in there like swimwear. The clarity is the first stage of power in this work. Some of you are mad at me because you're like, Blair, I'm not trying to do this reflective work. Just give me things to say, give me things to do, but you need it. Awareness is going to help us to build a structure and a plan. And that's the second part. We have to build a survival structure until we can get out. The first one is this minimum standard day. A lot of you are operating in this space of excellence, and I want you to stay there. I really do. I can empathize with excellence. But when you're burned out, your brain lies to you. It says do everything or do nothing at all. So you're literally going to have to tell your brain, stop it. No, no, we're not going to go to these extremes. We're going to do the minimum standard, not the maximum expectation. What does this mean? What must I get done? What can wait? And what is someone else's responsibility? Baby, I love some delegation. You can get this. You can get your job, and you can get your job, and you can get your job. You better Oprah these people all day. So acknowledge the fact that you typically produce excellence, and that's what they expect of you, that you will say yes, that you will do it, that you'll be amazing. And I want you to adopt the mindset of mediocrity and basicness. I know it's going against who you are. I know, but do the minimum. The next piece is setting micro boundaries. If you watched my first video, did you watch the first video? I talked about how boundaries are not walls. They are non-negotiables. They are instructions as far as how. people are to treat you, what they can expect of you. So I want you to create micro boundaries. Micro boundaries are going to be the small things that save your sanity. Hey, I'll respond to this at 2 p.m. That's when I'll have time and capacity. Mental load. I can't take that on, but here's what I can do. And yes, that script right there, it's in the toolkit. But those small phrases are going to protect you. They're going to protect your energy. You have to recognize that burnout, it's going to steal your identity. It's going to steal the fact that you do produce amazing work, that you are effective, efficient, that you are valuable to the team you're a part of. Those non negotiables, they're going to restore it. I want you to have one daily non negotiable. Look up the definition of what a non negotiable is. Is it prayer? Is it journaling? Lunch away from your desk? Closing the laptop at 5 p.m.? Pick one and honor it like your job depends on it, because your peace does. It acknowledges that you have to change the atmosphere before you change the job. I think of this as, what is your peace? I want you to stop suffering in silence. The lie of burnout is that you're the problem. The truth is that you've been solving. Story time. Story time. So I once had a supervisor who was very skilled at gaslighting, extremely sarcastic, little comments disguised as praise. Things like, yes, Blair was in the, yes, there's a process. Blair was the lead, so there had to have been a process. And because Blair presented it. Now, on the surface, it didn't sit right. But something about it didn't sit right with me. Because I don't need to be positioned own standard of, I have my own standard of excellence. I don't work for applause. I work for integrity, intrinsic for me. So over time, those comments started with, oh, I started wondering if there was an issue that wasn't being named. Am I Miss Hollis? Or is this hostility? That's what gaslighting does. It makes. So one day I used my voice. I stopped being silent. In a meeting with other professionals, other leaders in the space, this supervisor kept belaboring a point, dragging it, repeating it, making it heavier than it needed to be. And in that moment, I knew something very clearly. My silence was not protecting me. It was suffocating me. So I spoke up, calmly, clearly, without apology. I said in the space, I'm not receiving these comments well right now. I'm feeling challenged by them because it sounds like there may be an underlying issue that needs to be addressed as a group. What is our standard of excellence here? How are we defining success with our projects? So I want to check in. I want to do it in this space. I'm reading the room, and I want to see if I'm reading it correctly or if I'm maybe taking something personally. Then I stopped talking. That's when silence is a beast. Now, hear me. Let me give a disclaimer. I'm not telling you to challenge your supervisor publicly. If you don't have that relational capital, don't do it. Don't come back here and say, Blair, they fired me. I blame you. I took your free advice. Don't do it. I already had established myself in that leadership space. People knew my work. People knew my voice. And they knew I would use it. So ultimately, I said what I needed to say because I needed to make sure that there was alignment with everyone in that room. I wanted to ensure that I was contributing in a way that was valuable and that I'm communicating my contributions in a way that are valuable. That's the goal. How do I show my value to you? Based on the comments I was receiving, it sounded like maybe something wasn't landing the way that it should. So I wanted to clarify. I needed that clarity and I wanted it out loud for me and for the group. Because if this feedback applies to me, it probably applies to other people. Think about that, right? If I'm able to share my voice, there's probably someone else who's feeling the same thing or maybe who has maybe a similar mindset or perspective. So share outwardly. I'm sure you can guess what happened. That room shifted. Not because I created a sense of awkwardness, but clarity shifted that room. It disrupted passive aggression. It exposed in that place what sarcasm tried to hide. Your voice can force people to either be honest or to back down. That was the moment I fully understood this truth. My silence was not saving me. It was suffocating me. Accountability doesn't require anger, it requires courage. Okay, let me get back to this word. Start quiet clarity. What do I mean by that? You don't have to fight. You don't have to argue. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to explain your trauma history. You can simply say, here's what I need to be successful, and then stop talking. And that's a form of what I did in that space. What I need to be successful is for us to be on the same page. What is the expectation? Because if we're going to keep highlighting my excellence and not everybody else's, then I need everybody to get on my level. Level up, lead up. I also want to add that because faith is a part of my leadership, sometimes God will keep us in a place not to break us. You've probably heard this message before, but it's to build us, it is to prune us for upcoming seasons. So that pain has purpose. If you're able to reframe your mindset and think that, what am I supposed to get from this, Lord? What message am I supposed to receive? How am I supposed to develop, glorify you in this space? It's going to be to your benefit. Start praying for clarity and not comfort. Pray for alignment and not applause. Your recognition is going to come from Him. Listen, if you are at this space of being burned out, burned up, fed up, all the things, and still showing up, you don't have to stay stuck. You can shift the atmosphere before you shift the job. Download this Respect Reset Toolkit. Get these scripts to help you reclaim your voice at work, at home, and subscribe because there is more to come. I want us all to be able to level up and lead up. Leave a note in the comments. What are you going to use? What have you said already that may fit with what I've shared with you? To see you soon.